Hello everyone, welcome back to the High Society channel and another installment of Talk and Roll, the little show segment thing where we talk, tell stories, and roll joints. Today, guys, I have one of those anecdotes, one of those stoner anecdotes that, how you remember strains, from beautiful moments in your life. I don't know what it was for you guys, but for me, it was lemon crack. I remember the first time I saw a nug of lemon crack and I felt the effects on my body. I honestly, probably that was the day that I decided I will smoke weed for the rest of my life because motherfucker, that strain is so good. But today we have a different sort of story about strains that right now I'll smoke, but I'm careful around because of this story. So let's get into it, guys. It was one of those days, maybe 3 years ago, where we had nothing to do in an afternoon, and my homie and I were just like, yo, let's pick up our other homie and let's go smoke some weed, because what the fuck else are you gonna do? We go pick him up, and we have a joint in hand already, because that's how we are. That's how we roll. We're prepared. We're already smoking, and we let the homie tap the joint because it's good smoking etiquette. If somebody gets in your car and you're smoking something, you better give them a hospitality hit because if not, you're just a fucking dick, honestly. And they don't even have to stay in rotation. You just gotta give them a hospitality hit. That's the new thing. You should be doing that. Like if somebody comes to your house, gets in your car, and you don't do that, you're a piece of shit. So that particular day, we were smoking on three strains that I will never forget the names of. Those were Blue Dream, which right now it's everybody is just like everybody's over Blue Dream. Purple Punch, another strain which a couple years ago was pretty good or like highly rated, but right now is just kind of mid. And Cherry Pie, which again, sort of another mid tier strain, but it fucking slaps sometime. It has its place, It's nice, sweet, stinky. It's a good strain. So we're smoking, driving, riding around, doing our thing, and like a while into it, and we're like, dude, we're just kind of wasting gas at this point. We're kind of stoned. We could eat something or watch something. Let's go to your house. So we go to my homie's house, the same house where we went after I fucking tripped out on a joint, which I'll link the video because it's a pretty funny one. But we go to his house and we have the classic garage setup: a TV, PlayStation, sofa. You gotta have those things in your garage or a homie's garage if you're gonna be, chilling a lot. So we make it to the garage, to the fucking garage, and we start rolling up more weed because we're gonna be sitting here for a few hours. Gotta get the weed out, man. So we roll up like two blunts, and for the last one, we had another wrap, and I'm like, man, what do you guys think if I roll up a nice hefty blunt? And they're like, for sure, dude, go for it. So I break down the buds, because there are three different strains. I break them all down. I have maybe 2 grams, within all the weed, and they all look different. So I put them all next together, and they look real pretty on the paper. And I'm rolling up this fucking fatty, and I'm like, man, we about to get baked. So I roll up this joint slash blunt, and we start smoking. We start smoking the more normal blunts that we have, waiting for later in the night to smoke this. What we didn't know is that we smoked those in about hour and a half. Doing other shit, watching TV and stuff. Once those are done, bro, I'm barbecued. I just wanted to leave. It's like, yo, it's been a long day. It's been good, but I just kind of want to leave now. And so we're like, man, but we can't leave without finishing the last blunt we rolled. Like if you roll something, you gotta smoke it. You can't just like half-ass it. You know, you gotta smoke that shit. So we light it up. I light up this fucking fatty, and we start passing it. We're passing it, and we're taking hits. Those hits that you need to take a breath for after every hit. You take a hit, and you're like, you breathe it out, and then you're like, motherfucker, I have to go again. It's one of those blunts, and we're hitting it and we're hitting it. And about halfway through the blunt, it gets to the point where we're passing it, and the only person staying awake is the person hitting the blunt. We're three hitting this blunt, and two people are at all times asleep while one of us is hitting the blunt. It gets crazy, right? So we're hitting it and passing it, hitting it and passing it, and passing out. And one thing you gotta understand, I had my right leg over my left leg. I'm hitting this blunt, I'm hitting it, and it's my turn to pass it. And I pass it to my homie who's like on my right side, and I'm just handing out this blunt like this, like sitting there like, hey man, can you take this off my hand? To which, I notice he's not waking up. He is dead asleep. I notice this and I'm like, shit, fuck. And I pass out. Literally, that was it. I thought those two things and passed out because I was so high that I was like, yo, you're too high to pick up this blunt. I'm not gonna wake up the other motherfucker at the other end of the couch. Dude, that's too far away. I'm not doing that. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll hold it. I'll let him wake up in like 2 seconds, grab the blunt when he sees it, and we're gonna be good. About maybe I would say 10 minutes pass, and I wake up with a stinging sensation on my leg. What happened is nobody woke up, I didn't wake up, and I fell asleep with a blunt in my hand, which was about three-quarter of the way, done, but it was a fatty, so there was a lot of weed still to be smoked. And me being passed out, I lose motor skills. So the blunt falls on my leg, like on my ankle area, and burns a hole through my jeans and my socks. And now I have a scar on my leg because of this night and because of these fucking 3 strains. That now, I gotta be careful around these fucking strains because I get scared. I see this happen and I see the hole in my leg and like on my pants and I'm like, fuck. But I'm so high I don't really feel it. So I just bounce up the couch and hit the button to open the garage door. And my homie, like my friend, wakes up and he's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, he's also passed out. And I'm like, yo, man, I burned a hole in my leg, but it's all cool. I'll call you tomorrow. I'm gonna go home. It's fucking late. And he's like, oh, yeah, for sure, man. And I leave, which I probably shouldn't have. I should have probably maybe stayed at least a little bit because I was kind of fucked up. Probably shouldn't have driven that night, but I got home safe and just slept it off. And the next day, I had a really, really nice burn on my leg. Had to throw away the pants and the socks. It was an ordeal. Also, the funniest thing about it is I called my friend the next day and I'm like, hey man, you remember what happened last night? He's like, yeah, man, we got really high and then like passed out, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, I also burned a hole in my leg. And he's like, what, motherfucker? What? You burned a hole in your leg? And I'm like, yeah, but it's all good. And, it's shit that happens. Moral of the story, guys. Be careful in rotation. Make sure at least all of you are awake, or at least most of you are awake. And if you're too high, there's no shame in putting the blunt in the ashtray. Honestly, at the end of the day, we gotta be careful. It's a fire hazard. Who would have known that something lit on fire is a fire hazard? It's crazy shit. Like, honestly, insane. But that's the story. That's my story of the 3 strains that now I'll smoke because I'll smoke most strains. But I'm definitely never combining those again because it wasn't even that great of a sleep. I had a burn. I couldn't even sleep that great, even though I was high. But it is what it is. And I hope you guys learned something from it. And if not, at least got a kick out of my suffering and out of the pain that I felt that day. Because right now, the scar's kind of faded. It's been a few years. But it's definitely a funny moment and one for the stoner highlight reel of my, smoke sessions. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this little story. We rolled up a successful joint this time. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the story. Hope you guys laughed a little bit. Go watch the other stuff on the channel. There's more stories along the same lines and, other topics that you might want to check out. I think that's about it for today. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. And yeah, bye.